Aren't you glad that Jesus is not like the ex that you wronged or that relationship that was just terrible? Aren't you glad that Jesus is very forgiving and he's merciful and he's graceful? Aren't you glad that even after you messed up, disrespected him, disobeyed him, didn't want to rock with him, he still chose you and said, "You're mine"? Aren't you glad Jesus is not treating you like your problems, like your mistakes, like the liar you might be, or the cheater you might be, or the thief, or the killer, or the sex person you are? Aren't you glad Jesus, God, in his holiness sees you different? Aren't you glad that the Lord gives you time to change? Like, honestly, let's think about all of this, because if it was if Jesus treated us like a real human relationship, "Oh, you wronged me, you get no access to me." You feel me? But the Lord said, "No, I'm going to forgive you of your sins, and I'm going to give you grace, and I'm going to give you mercy. Yes, I'm going to correct you sometime. Yes, I might discipline you sometime, but just know that you're still mine." You feel me? So no matter how far gone you are off, as long as you're still breathing, as long as you're still alive, you have time to sup with Jesus and him to sup with you. I'm telling you, be grateful and be mindful of God's forgiveness and his sovereignness and his willingness to want us to change and his willingness to want to save our souls. Because it's not about our day-to-day life for real. It's about our eternal living that he's going after. And I love God for looking at the bigger picture. But aren't you glad that Jesus really don't be like, "Nah, man, I ain't talking to you. You ain't called on my name in months. I ain't talking to you." Or what? What you want? You only call on me because you want a blessing. You only call on me because you in trouble. You don't really rock with me. Aren't you glad God don't treat us like that? The same way we be treating people. "Oh, you only call on me because you want something. I'm gonna ignore you." No. Aren't you glad? So today, let's give God praise for being so merciful, so wonderful, so graceful, so forgiving, so loving. And I'm talking about love. Man, there's been times where I didn't even call on Jesus, and yet here I am still doing what Jesus wanted me to do. You feel me? Let's talk about real love. Aren't you glad that Jesus gives us real, never ending, never changing, never smack in the face love? Never, "You got to do this in order for me to do this for you," love. Aren't you glad that Jesus is just so loving, so caring, and so forgiving? Give him some praise for that. Be blessed, y'all.